before lunch, so I decided to join Ollie in his trek, so that way my appetite would be in a more salubrious state.
Okay, so the brother and him
It
went
was
for a walk.
spring, and the leaves were meager and just starting to grow back onto the trees, which also meant I had to watch out for any sort of dangerous animals that could possibly lurk out and cause harm to any of us.
Makes sense.
I could hear Ollie sniffing the air, and then him groaning at something. "Something smells like shit," he said nasally,
Oof.
as he pinched his nostrils shut. "Hey, watch your mouth," I retorted, surprised by the sudden curse. "Just because Mom and Dad aren't here doesn't mean you're allowed to say whatever." I did, however, sniff the air. He was right. There was a smell of rotten meat that burned in my nose. It was like
Oh
road
God.
I saw what looked like legs by a tree about several yards from us. "Stay right there, okay?" I instructed Ollie. He nodded in agreement while keeping his hand on his nose. I leisurely walked forward and turned the tree to see what the thing was. It was a deer, and it was dead all right.
Yeah, I bet it
Flies
was.
droned and swarmed around it. I was used to seeing dead animals around here. Hunting was
Yikes.
pretty frequent. But there was something that rather took me aback. It was the fact that the way its neck had been ravaged into.
Oh my
was almost
God.
entirely gone and torn down to the bone. A bear would go down to the muscle and stop there.
Yeah, no.
But to the bone? This had to
Sheesh.
have been from something much more vicious.
Fuck
But
that dude.
what?
A
I
wolf?
looked back to see if Ollie had actually done what I urged him to. He did, but he was peering out to the woods. His eyes, so fixated, were filled with concern and his face unnerved.
You better lie to him.
"You okay, bud?" I asked, noticing his expression. "Something's out there."
Oh,
He murmured,
yo.
as he continued to
Oh,
walk.
you would say that to me.
I looked to see if he was kidding around. All that was in my view were the trees and brush. It might have been a deer or something.
Yeah, dude, you
Don't worry
run.
so much.
That's all. I'm gonna give you
Let's go
advice.
back
Put you
and
on
get some
game.
lunch.
You run.
And so we did, just to reassure him. I made ourselves some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as we watched a movie for a bit. Ollie usually liked his sandwiches, and he'd been done with it in a few minutes,
Yeah.
but he ate his so sluggishly.
Yeah, I
I
bet.
didn't bother asking what he saw, because I figured that he must have scared himself,
Oh.
and that he'd get over it in a while.
That's no bueno.
However, the back of my mind was still unsettled by that deer. How could its neck have been mutilated like that to such a grisly state?
Ah.
Night dawned upon both of us, and Ollie was begging me to let him sleep beside me as I put him to bed.
I bet.
"What's gotten into you?" I asked him. "That thing's still out there. It was staring at me. It was
Oh.
bigger than you. I'm
Fuck.
sure you just scared yourself. If anything was out there, it wasn't anything dangerous." He continued to beg me, but I kept refusing, and told him to close his eyes and that he'd forget about it in the morning.
As you should. As you
I
should.
laid down in my bed, ready for a good rest. I like keeping my TV on just so I have a source of light in my room. I felt my eyes starting to sag and get heavy as I slowly felt myself growing drowsy. There was a sudden snap from outside. It
Ooh,
sounded
no
like a
bueno.
stick being splintered. I figured it was some animal, like another deer, but what would be out at this time of night? My TV was still on, so I decided to watch a little bit more, just so I could go back to sleep.
Ah,
Without
fuck
even
that.
thinking, my gaze floated to the window, and my heart punched the inside of my chest. There was something at the window. I couldn't see what it was.
Oh
They
no.
were milky and opaque, almost lifeless, but they were staring right through me.
Fuck that, dude.
I tried to make it seem like I didn't see the figure.
No, that's me. That's exactly what I do. That is exactly what I would do. That move right there. That maneuver.
Something against the glass.
I do the same
The
thing.
thing was scratching my window. The sound was piercing my ears and grated at my nerves. My chest started to feel full as my breath started to shorten. My window was starting to open,
Oh,
and I could hear that thing climbing into my room. Its presence was clearly made, as its shadow covered my entire bed in black. I
nah.
sat there hyperventilating for what seemed like hours,
Dude.
until I felt the mattress
No.
start to sink in.
No.
The springs groaned as the thing had climbed onto the bed.
Oh,
I felt I could
son
literally
of...
die from fright right
Oh
there.
my god.
The thing started to move across my bed. I was trying my best not to
No!
breathe so hard, but I was completely terror-stricken. It then stopped and stood right at my shoulders.
Hold on, guys. Hold
I
on.
felt its giant feet
Hold on.
clasping onto my
Hold
shoulder.
on. Give me a second. There's like a fly in my room. I'm gonna kill it real quick. Give me like a second. Please, just give me a small second. This is a lot to take in. I'll be right back. Give me a small second. Here, let me switch over to my... Be right back. All right, let's go back to the video. Oh, sorry. Just like, I had to kill that fly. It was gonna bother me.
Shoulder blades. I could hardly breathe. I had a mirror to my right that allowed me to see what was above me.
No.
And chills ran down my spine.
No.
The creature was black, large, and at least 7 feet tall and lanky.
7 feet?
Its arms went down to its calves. Its chest leaned over me and stretched to an impossible degree. It didn't even look human
What
or
the
animal.
fuck?
It seemed alien. I shut my eyes tight, hoping that it was just some dream.
Dude, there's no dream like
Start
that.
to hear the creature's heavy breaths and growling. It
Ah!
sounded like a dog, but much more disturbing. As it grasped harder, I feared the worst. My ears were ringing. I wasn't breathing while I bit my tongue.
Oh my
My
lord.
eyes were shut so tight, and the blood flow in my head stopped almost completely.
Fuck
Something
that,
then
dude.
beckoned it off of me, and the creature leapt off. Through my ringing ears, I thought I could hear something like thumps and rusty hinges. I painfully felt the blood flow starting to come back, and I blacked out. Morning came, and I had a massive headache now, and my chest felt so tight. I needed to go wake up Ollie and make breakfast.
No.
And I reluctantly did so. I went into his room, but found his bed empty. I checked all of downstairs to check if he was there somewhere.
Oh, fuck.
Nothing. I then thought of the one place he could definitely be if he was hiding. I went outside and took to the path in the back of the woods. I walked some ways while trying to get over the pain in my head when I saw his bare feet by the tree. "Ollie," I said, exhausted and annoyed in my grimace. "Come on, what are you..." I stopped.
No.
I felt my whole entire world collapse as I was bludgeoned with every single negative emotion possible.
Oh,
I put
shit.
2 and 2 together, and it answered my questions as it brought my distress up tenfold. Ollie was sitting there. His skin was pale. His cloudy eyes trickled with blood, and his neck was mangled
shit.
to the bone. He was dead. He wasn't lying. That creature was still
Oh, shit. Yo. That kind of made me sad, guys. Anything like with like brother stuff like that, like that always like gets the feels going. Damn. Damn, man. Damn. I feel for that. I really do. That is like, that's a fear of mine, dude. That is a fear of mine. Like, was it fratricide? Fratricide, I think it's called. You know what I mean? Oh my lord. Let's watch another horror video. Yeah, let's watch another horror video. Animated scary stories. Let's see. Let's see. Not this. This looks weird. What the fuck? All right. Okay. We got time for one. Like, I think we got time for one more video before I end the stream and before I have to go do things. I'm not deflecting because I'm scared. I swear to God, I am not deflecting because I'm scared. Not fully. How much is long is this? This is an hour long. Let's just watch it. Yeah.
It was around 3 years ago.
Okay.
I was 17 years old and I worked at the local library in my city. The library was located in the middle of the city.
Okay.
It was totally abandoned in the evenings. I only worked in the
No more sad. No more sad
when all
face.
the older staff had already gone home. My colleague and I were the only one left there that night. As it was the day before Christmas and a blizzard was going on outside, not one single customer inhabited the building.
Okay.
My colleague Thomas was down at ground level, while I was sitting at my desk on the top level. Normally, I would take the time to study, but it was the holidays and I was completely bored to death.
I've been
The
there.
library was recently renovated, so I could look outside through the big windows that they had put up. I mostly looked at the blizzard going on, thinking about my bike ride home. It was a dark December evening and the snow was piling up. I just really wanted to go home.
I've been there. Yeah. No, I
It's
get
really
that.
snowy out there, Tom. What do you say we close up early? No one's gonna show up anyway. Over. Your jokes are funny.
Huh?
Just 10 minutes before we closed, I heard some people coming up the stairwells. It was some kind of family. One man and a woman with 2 girls.
What the fuck?
When they came through the door, I immediately saw that they weren't ordinary. The man had a pale, almost white face and wore red lipstick. The woman was also completely pale. They all wore clothing like they used to be in the 17 or 1800s. I just had my history exam, so I recognized it immediately. While I walked towards them, I saw that they were looking around as if they were lost. "Can I help you folks?" I asked them. They looked at me with big eyes, if I was talking Chinese.
Oh
I
shit.
almost thought about
That's kind of
failing,
racist.
but as we just had a meeting about customer satisfaction, I asked again, a bit louder. "Can I help you folks?" They now all looked at me with a big smile and large eyes. I was totally creeped out and I didn't really know what to do
That's
anymore.
so unnerving.
"If I can help you, I'll be at my desk," I said, and I quickly walked away. When I was at my desk, I could still see the family just standing there, doing absolutely nothing. Tom, have you seen this family that just came in?" Over. "No, no one's come through the entrance. You good?" Over. Now I was even more creeped out. When I looked up, I saw the man walking towards me.
Oh.
From the inside, I could almost cry, but I did my best not to show it. The man stood in front of me with his pale face and called out something in a language I couldn't understand.
Was
It
what?
sounded like English, but it sort of wasn't. I couldn't make out anything. I looked down at my computer to make it look like I was searching, hoping he would just take off. When I finally looked up, nobody was there.
Oh.
The floor was abandoned.
No. Okay.
A quick sweep of the
I'm
floor,
gone.
found
I'd
them
leave after that.
as if they just vanished. Just then, my colleague came up the stairs, and I told him what happened. He didn't believe me, and I thought I was trying to scare him. Luckily, there were security cameras in the library, so we could just watch what happened, right? After we closed the library, we went to the security office in the building and looked at the footage from earlier that evening.
What happened?
What I saw then was the creepiest thing ever. I was talking to nobody. The whole family wasn't on the screen. It
Yo.
was just me.
Yo.
talking to myself.
That's so. Not me. Not me, Chief. Definitely not me. The roommate.
Looking for a new roommate is always a daunting task. Even though you interview and take the time to get to know that person, you don't truly find out who they are until you start living with them.
Well, that's
I began
factual.
searching for a roommate after I decided to leave my current residency. I was contacted a couple of hours after placing an ad on the Facebook Marketplace. The message read,
Hey Chris, I'll be moving out of my current apartment this August and I'm looking to room with someone new, as my roommates are moving to California this year. I'm 27 and I'm currently going to school.
Okay.
When I'm not at school, I enjoy hiking and watching movies.
I feel like any guy who has is always gonna be saying yes to a female roommate most of the time. Even she has a boyfriend. I feel like most of the time, they always say yes.
My first and most obvious reaction after reading the message was to check her profile.
Okay.
She was a medium height, had long, messy blonde hair and green eyes. In her profile picture, I saw her standing with a man and a woman shoulder to shoulder. They each adorned goofy grins and held up peace signs.
As you do
Under
with
the
roommates.
photo, the caption read, "Love my roommates." I smiled to myself and decided to send her a message
Okay,
back.
not bad. You know, you're thinking to
The
yourself.
sun beat down on us as we hoisted various objects to the second floor of our new apartment. It took us a couple days to get everything out of the moving trucks and into our new place, but as soon as we did, a wave of relief washed over our sweat-drenched and sore bodies.
I bet.
After a couple more hours of rearranging, we each grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat on the porch. We reminisced about old 90s cartoons and what video games we obsessed
Old
over as
90s
kids.
cartoon.
As the sun started to
As you do
set,
as an adult.
I truly felt relaxed and confident that things were going to work out. A week later, I started a new job for a construction company that was owned by a good friend of mine. As I was getting ready, I heard the front door swing open. I walked into the living room to see Lunaire and her friend David sliding in a large box.
David?
"What's there?" I asked. Through a strained grunt, she replied,
I bought a freezer to store some of the animals I'm planning on using in my taxidermy work. I hope that's alright.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
I was obviously hesitant at first, as there was no mention of this happening in the first place, but I eventually
Sorry, my door
accepted
keeps opening. I
and
got
went to
scared.
my room to continue getting ready for work. I came home at around 9 p.m. after having a couple of beers with friends and noticed that the freezer was nestled snugly in the lower part of the pantry.
Okay.
A low hum could be heard reverberating off of the inner walls.
You mean
I was
vibrating?
curious to see what was inside.
Reverberating.
Intrude on Lunaire's business, so I went into my room and changed into more comfortable clothing.
Let me
After
turn off the.
changing, I came back
let
out
me
to
make the bar
kitchen and
smaller.
started making a sandwich. I opened the fridge and grabbed what I needed. As I
There you
turned
go.
around, I stubbed my toe on the edge of the island.
Ah,
Went
I
out
know
the
that pain
wall
all
and
too
exasperated
well.
in front. Through my frustration, I slammed the fridge door shut and checked my toe to see if there was any bleeding.
No,
As I
but
raised my head back up, I was greeted by a shadowy figure. Lunaire was standing in the doorway leading to her room.
oh
The
fuck.
darkness behind her almost seemed to envelop her.
The fuck?
Is everything okay?
She said in
Nah, I
a
stubbed my
deadpan
toe, girl.
tone.
Nothing cool.
Shit, yeah, I'm sorry. I just slammed my toe into the corner of the countertop as I
Yeah.
was making a sandwich.
Hey,
I
I'm not gonna
didn't
cap. I'm gonna say something real funny. When it comes to like stubbing your toe, I don't talk to me. Don't nobody talk to me unless you don't want to be yelled at. If I stub my toe, I stub my toe for like 5 minutes. That's the initial hit, and then the little bit of time that I have to like calm myself down before I blow up and just yell. That's factual. Like, I'm just putting you guys on game. Like, that's the type of person I am. If I stub my toe, do not talk to me. Don't engage with me. Just ignore me while I resettle down.
It's fine.
she said, in the same deflated tone as before. She then turned around and walked back into the darkness of her room.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell that she was pissed, so I quietly made my sandwich and retreated back to my room as
Peanut
well.
butter and jelly,
only
baby,
hearing a low
classic.
hum from the freezer as I
Nothing like a
closed the door.
PBJ sandwich to like
I had the next day off, so
get
I was
your
able to
snack
sleep in a little
cravings
longer than
out.
usual. When I finally emerged from my room, I walked into the kitchen to make breakfast.
What happened?
As I opened the refrigerator, I noticed that the light wasn't turning on and there was a lack of cold air escaping from inside. I turned around and flipped the light switch to confirm my suspicion. Sure enough, the power was out.
Eee.
Damn it, I muttered under my breath. I walked over to Lunaire's room and knocked on her door to tell her about the power outage if she didn't already know, but there was no answer. I then remembered that she had classes that day and probably wasn't home.
Oh, I mean,
I
yeah,
went back to the kitchen
that works
and
out.
past the pantry. As I did, I slipped on the floor but was able to catch myself on the countertop.
Oh shit.
What the? I angrily exclaimed as I looked down at the floor trying to figure out what I had slipped on. It was blood. It had started to leak from the corner of the freezer and pool onto the floor.
Shit.
I quickly tried to open the freezer to find out the cause of the viscous liquid, but then I noticed that it had a padlock attached to it. I don't remember seeing that before. I ran out to my car and grabbed my toolbox from the back
This
seat.
man said, fuck your
Approached the
privacy,
freezer and
bitch.
Set my tools down on a nearby countertop. I then pulled out a small pair of bolt cutters and snapped through the metal of the padlock.
Smart
It fell to
man.
the ground with a large thud.
Ew.
I creaked open the top of the freezer and was greeted with a putrid stench that permeated my nostrils.
Ugh.
I quickly pinched my nose and walked away, gagging in response. I guess I should have realized that was gonna happen. I
Well, yeah,
muttered to
dead
myself
animals,
in
like, they
between
smell
gags.
like crap.
After gaining my composure, I grabbed some gloves from under the sink and started taking inventory. I could see a couple of dead birds and plastic bags wedged into the corners of the freezer.
Yeah.
I took each bag out and set them in the trash can nearby.
She about to
That's
be.
when I noticed
I'm gonna
the
be
blood
real.
was coming from the corner of
If
the
you're
large
doing this as a
black bag.
roommate, you're touching your roommate's stuff without like their permission. They have grounds to be kind of mad. I get it. Like, this is gonna smell up the entire house. Like, you do have to like be mindful of that, especially if you're like, you just gotta be mindful of it. But I do get where he's coming from in the sense of like, nah, the smell is gonna just stink up the house. I better throw this away before it leaks everywhere. Power's out. We gotta like eat all
I
the
don't
ice
know
cream.
why.
Like, I understand
decided
that.
to open the top of the bag and peer inside. I was greeted by large
What
eyes,
the?
a swollen black tongue surrounded by cracked and bloated lips.
Look at it. She got
and
strangled.
matted hair of a human head. I swiftly dropped the bag and fell backwards on
Nah.
the floor. My breathing had ceased to exist.
Oh, you hit
and
the
I grabbed
corner of the
trash
table,
can
buddy.
next to me
That's
and
death.
expelled my disgust into it.
Oh,
I then ran out the door, got into my car.
don't come
The
back.
police. As I sat in the interrogation room with a blanket over my shoulders, I couldn't help but think about the face I'd seen. It looked so familiar. That's when it finally hit me. I pulled out my phone and looked at Lunaire's profile picture. It was her old roommate.
Oh
The one she
shit.
said was moving to California.
Oh my
When
God,
the
no.
detective entered the room, I started the questioning process.
You better dip.
Asking me if I started noticing any weird behavioral occurrences. around the
Behavior
apartment.
occurrences. She was watching
Yeah,
me.
I stubbed my toe the other day and she creepily stood in the doorway. It seemed like she was pissed, but for some reason I had a strange feeling like she was concerned about something. That's when I connected the dots.
Yeah, bro.
She didn't come out into the kitchen because she heard me stub my toe. She came out into the kitchen because she thought I slammed the freezer instead of the fridge. A
Oh,
cold sweat started to form on my forehead.
she would have killed you that night.
Surroundings became blurred. I could hear a low whine slowly starting to cover up the words of concern from the
Oh
detective.
shit.
As my vision started to clear, I could see another officer enter the room and whisper something into her ear as he handed her a piece of paper. "Do you have somewhere you could stay at?" she asked.
Why?
I mean, I was planning on staying with my parents. They live about 30 minutes outside of town.
Why?
Okay, she paused. Listen, I don't want to worry you, but
No,
we found
bitch.
this picture inside of your apartment.
No, bitch.
She slid the piece of paper across the table, and I immediately felt like someone kicked me in the chest. The head of Lunaire's other roommate sat on the chair. In the background, scrawled on the wall in blood, read, "Love my roommates. All of them."
Ah, I'm running away. You better kill her, or you better arrest her. I'm gonna put that on God right there, man. Like, I do not play with that kind of nonsense. I do not play the horn-headed man.
Moonlight peered through my window as I jolted awake.
Oh fuck.
My clamorous breaths disturbed the silence of my dark room. I had just come out of a frightful dream that had me thinking it was all too real. With sweat on my brow, I sat up and grabbed my water from the nightstand and took a sip from the now warmed glass. My hands shook as I recounted my nightmare of the horn-headed man. In my
What?
dream, I was walking through my neighborhood, the street lights flickering as I made my way down the uninhabited sidewalk. Nothing threatening, just a walk through the midnight hours.
Yeah, okay.
A block down, I could see a figure in the distance, walking slowly towards me. His steps seemed mismatched and labored. He passed a few houses looking straight ahead.
Oh, hell
neither
no.
looking left nor right.
What kind of Silent
Instead,
Hill
he stood
shenanigans is
on the
this?
sidewalk in front of him. As I was getting closer to my home, I could see him slowly starting to embark on my territory. I quickly rushed to my front door and hurried inside. Through my window,
Nah.
I walked past my property.
Nah.
I was thinking to myself, oh God, please have him keep going, please.
Don't. Why
I was
would
just
you?
about to walk all the way past my front yard when he stopped. His body almost shifted abnormally as he turned to face my home. He just stood there, looking, not moving, just standing there.
No.
The man bore the horned head of a skeletal goat. His body was pale and looked fragile.
This is why you carry a gun,
His
people.
fingers were thin and bony. I thought to
Fucking
myself,
tweakers, man.
what does he want? Slowly, he started lifting a quivering arm and pointed right at me.
Oh.
I started to backpedal
No.
towards my house when all
No.
of a sudden I let out an inhuman screech. That's when I woke up. Too frightened to go back to bed, I turned on the television and saw that the local news for early risers was on. My stomach dropped and my body suddenly turned cold
What?
as I listened to the current news report. The news anchor on the television said, "Breaking news. A woman who lived on Columbia Avenue has been murdered. Local officials say that they received an anonymous phone call from the victim's home. We arrived at the house at around 12:20, and we saw the victim inside and a card which rested next to her." The sheriff held up the card. On the back of it, I could see the image of the horn-headed man.
That's fucking
The
weird.
officer started to read. "One down. Slowly I go." He then lifted his head back up. His blood started trickling from his eyes.
Dude,
and mouth.
that is weird.
I
Don't.
sat there shaking, and I couldn't breathe. Columbia's just 3 blocks away from me. I jumped out of my bed and ran to my window. Something within me made me want to look outside. That's when I saw him. He just stood there,
Menacingly.
looking. Not
Yo,
moving,
dude, it's so
just
fucking weird.
looking. The horn-headed man. His body pale and fragile
That's so
and his fingers
weird.
thin and bony.
I don't even know how to process this, dude. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight after this kind of shenanigans that have been happening. These shenanigans are
It
not
was
fun.
a late, moonless, snowy night. I heard the chilling cry of a bobcat as I arrived home from my parents' house, where we had just had Thanksgiving dinner in northern Michigan. Exhausted, I had finally made it to my bed when my pregnant girlfriend asked for nacho cheese munchies. Reluctantly, I laced up my boots and went to my car. Due to the cold, it took me a while to start the car.
Yeah, that'd
which
be
only
like
made
that.
me more irritated. But eventually, I got it started, and I arrived at the convenience store to retrieve my girlfriend's mandated snacks. As I left the store, walking back towards my car, I saw a shadow of movement
Hold on,
out
I
of the
gotta,
corner of my eye.
Let me restart the stream real quick. Gotta refresh it. Give me a second. Stream pros on me. Gotta. Little refresher. Okay. Okay. The stream refreshed. It should be almost there. All right, whatever. Let's continue it. It'll refresh on its
Looked
own.
like a person stood near the dumpster, just out of the light. I stepped towards the figure, and she looked at me with a giant sinister smile.
Oh,
Her face was so weathered, it looked like she had cracks all over her face. She was crouched down and appeared to be chewing on something. I looked to see what she was chewing on. To my surprise, it was a severed arm. It looked old,
oh my
as if it had
god.
been rotting for weeks. I saw her glance at something in her pocket. I could see the outline of what looked like a pocket knife.
Fuck
As soon as I
that.
looked back up, she quickly charged me.
Oh my
I
god.
pushed her
Oh my
away
God.
and then ran back to the convenience store. I burst through the door and frantically yelled towards the cashier to call the police as I turned to lock it. He asked me, "What's going on?" I scowled at him and said, "Please, just call the cops." I looked back outside and saw the woman had moved across the street and was still scrutinizing me as she maintained her malevolent grin.
That is terrifying.
"Look, there's a girl out there who's trying to kill me." Looking over me, he replied, "I don't see anyone out there, sir." Those words shook me, even to this day. When the police reached the gas station, they began looking around for the woman while one of the officers asked me what had happened, and I told him the details of the encounter. One of the officers came back and said he couldn't find anything. I then took them back to where I first noticed her. We spent a few minutes intently searching, but there was no proof she was ever even there.
Dude, that's so weird.
The officer cocked his head and looked at me as if I was deranged and asked me in a judgmental tone, "Are you feeling okay?" I was about to defend myself, and then I started to think. I am tired, and I have had a couple of drinks, so I just told him, "Yes, sir. Sorry for bothering you. I
Damn.
hope you have a nice night." And then I drove home. I got home at around 4 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend greeted me with an angered but concerning tone of voice. She asked me,
Where were you? Are you okay?
so I told
Damn,
her
bitch.
everything
Yes,
that
almost
happened.
died, but okay.
Of course, she didn't believe me. I couldn't get to sleep that
I
night.
almost died.
I sat in my bed questioning my sanity, wondering if it was all even real. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm just tired.
I be doing that all the time.
No, that can't be it. I saw it. But if I saw it, why was there no proof? Where did the arm go? Where
Yeah.
did she go? Before I knew it, it was 7 in the morning, and I had to go to work. I threw on my jacket as I was about to head to the construction site, and I put my hand in my pocket and noticed that there was a hole in it. It wasn't there the other day. I thought, what if she caught my jacket as I ran? Which further proves my suspicion that she was real. I couldn't believe it. My mind
My bad.
completely went wild.
Let's keep
My
going.
girlfriend kissed me goodbye. I told my friends at work what had happened, and they didn't believe me either. They made jokes about it the entire day, but I had my bowling tournament that day, so that gave me something to look forward to. I got home and hung my vest and jacket up and rapidly put on my bowling shoes and got my bowling ball. My girlfriend looked at me with a pleasant smile and said,
When will you be back?
"Probably around 11.
Don't be long.
11
I
o'clock.
won't, don't worry." At around 10:30, the tournament had finally finished and we had won. I was so thrilled I had forgotten about the woman. As we were leaving, I noticed something at the other end of the parking lot. It was
Damn.
that psychotic woman.
Still
We
there?
stared at each other for what felt like an eternity.
Damn, she wants
She
to
slowly
fade.
started moving towards me while waving her knife in the air and making cuts. I quickly jumped into my car and turned it on. As I looked up, I saw she was standing in front of me, staring at me. She slowly walked over to my window, and she said in a quiet, deep, and scratchy voice,
Little pig, let me in.
Oh, dude, I'm running her
I
over.
was frozen in fear.
No, not me.
But I snapped back to reality when she banged on the roof of my car, screaming. I quickly slammed my foot on the accelerator and didn't let off it until
Nah,
I
bro,
could
you should have
see
ran
it
her over.
anymore. When I arrived home, I told my girlfriend what had happened. Like last time, she didn't believe me. I really thought I was insane, but I tried to forget about it and get some sleep. Later that night, I woke up and saw her in my room.
Oh,
All she
no.
said was, "Let me in," over and over as she got closer. She then started shouting,
Let me in, let me in, let me in!
Yo, that's fucking terrifying.
Come on, Paul. Stop being difficult.
Oh my god.
wondering how in the world my girlfriend hadn't heard this going on.
This is so scary.
The woman was right next to me and held up a knife to me. That's when I fainted. I woke startled in my room, dripping with sweat. Then I remembered I don't have a girlfriend, nor a house, or a family.
Come on, Paul. Time for your morning meds. Let me in.
Oh. That is a huge fear. Huge fear of mine is like, what if you simulated an entire life in your head? Like entire life. Like I'm talking like to like born, aged up, death and everything, and you wake up and you realize, wow, that was all in my head. That is powerful. That's like House of M level imagination. Let's continue a little bit longer. I'll probably end the stream like at 9:30, 9:40. I'm like, I don't like where I feel. These late night streams are getting to me.
Okay. Oh, okay.
What the fuck? What was that? No bueno.
Everything okay, man?
What the hell?
Huh. Goddamn shoe. There's no people. It's a quiet neighborhood. Maybe I'm just exaggerating.
Maybe. No.
Is there something I can help you with, sir? Come on, man. You're seriously freaking me out.
Me too. That is not. What the hell?
Okay, alright, I get it. No one calls me on my birthday, so this is, I guess, what you decided to do instead? Listen, guys, I played enough Silent Hill, okay? This
Yeah,
is
me too.
nothing.
We're watching you.
Bye.
What the hell?
You like to be seen.
Oh, I don't know. Bye.
There's no one here. What's happening?
What is that?
You like to be seen. What the fuck are you people talking about? Please be a dream. Please, please be a dream.
I've been there, man. Where are you?
How the hell did I get here? Where are those people? What were those people? Hello? Is anyone here?
A lot of what the? Ugh. Dude, this is like unsettling.
Stop it!
Oh no. No, no, don't you do it. This is getting really, really dark. That was dark. Wow.
I'm not making this video for attention, or sympathy, or anything.
Wow.
I just want anyone who can help me to do that. My name's Daniel, and this is a story I wish I didn't have to tell. I've been a night owl my entire life. As a teen, I used to stay up way past midnight every night.
Me too.
Watching terrifying videos on YouTube.
Not me.
I know now they were nothing compared to the horrors of the real world. Nothing compared to the tragedy my family and I went through. The story I'm gonna tell to you now. My parents, being teachers, had always emphasized the importance of sleeping well to me.
Of
and
course,
would
of course.
definitely disapprove of my late night routine. So I knew that if they'd caught me up at that time, I'd be in big trouble. At first, this wasn't a problem, but after I told them about a child predator in our neighborhood that I'd seen in one of my videos, they seemed to grow more and more paranoid, which was obviously understandable.
Of course.
Every night, I'd hear one of them wandering into my room, checking on me, and every night, I'd immediately turn off my light
Hey,
and
that's
pretend to be asleep.
classic.
I never knew for sure if it was my mom or dad coming in, since obviously if I opened my eyes to see, they'd know I was awake. Mostly, I presumed it was my dad, from the heavy-sounding footsteps, but either way, I found it pretty hypocritical for them to preach to me about being up late when they were awake themselves.
True.
Sometimes I wondered if they knew I wasn't sleeping, because often it was only after what seemed like hours before they'd finally leave and go to check on Alfie. That's my little brother, and Lucy, my little sister.
This is gonna end
I've asked
horribly,
them
huh?
about it, but I thought it would have confirmed any suspicions which they seemed to already have about my staying awake deep into the mornings of the next day.
This is gonna be heartbreak.
Like I
I don't
said,
know if I can watch this,
I guess
man.
they
Like
were just
like this kind of stuff really does make my heart break, especially if I know where this is going and if it's another like loses his little brother kind of thing. Like I don't even know if I can watch that. That like really hits hard to me and like makes me feel some type of way and really like it really makes me feel sad. I'm not trying to like get sympathy or anything. I'm just saying like as a person, like I don't like stuff like that because it makes me cry. It makes me really sad. So we're gonna skip this story. Yeah, let's skip that story because I'm not really in the mood to watch that kind of stuff. You know, like that really gets me like in a weird headspace, and I don't feel like having that kind of thing going. Let's continue. Let's just
Used
go
to camp.
skip past it.
We made a teepee as our base and even sharpened a few sticks in case we had to fight anything. I know it's dumb, but we thought it was super cool at the time, being 14 years old. I'm a big fan of horror movies. I'd
Oh,
make my
Lord.
friend watch them with me all the time, and he hated it.
That's me.
He would always get paranoid that someone or something was gonna get us when we were
I'm a
there.
huge like baby when it
That's
comes
how
to
we
horror
came up with
movies.
the idea to make a teepee and wooden spears, so we wouldn't be attacked. We were finishing the school year online and had to study for finals. So
Quarantine?
we hadn't been back to the forest in weeks. After the finals were all said and done, we decided to take a trip up there to relax and check to see if our TP was still there. Our parents agreed to let us stay there on the basis that we'd keep in touch throughout the night.
How would you let your
We
kids?
didn't
I don't
tell
even
our
know.
parents this, but we would always take a big buck knife and a hatchet with us. We really thought we were manly.
You're like 14,
Anyway,
13.
When we were gathering our stuff for the night in the forest, we noticed that the buck knife was missing. We thought nothing of it and assumed we'd just left it at the forest the last time we were there. On the bike ride there, my friend was on edge. We just watched a scary movie and he was being a wimp as usual.
That's me. That's the type of person
At
I am.
around 8 p.m.,
Cautious.
we arrived at the rough part of the forest, where we had to continue the rest of the journey on foot.
I'm very cautious.
As we were walking, we smelled a terrible stench in the air. I couldn't locate or tell what it was. This, of course, made my friend think that there was a dead body and said we needed to leave right away.
Sorry, I just had to check something. I keep hearing
I
noises.
told him that he was being a wimp and overreacting.
Well, I mean,
Crunching of the fall
cautious.
leaves began to sound like squelching. As we peered down, we saw a trail of red leading up to where our teepee was.
Dude.
This really freaked my friend
It's
out.
not, that's
I told him I'd spotted a can of spray paint in the trash a mile back and that someone was probably playing a prank, just to calm him down. The closer we got to our base,
If he's lying, he's a
stronger
horrible
the
friend.
smell became. When we finally got there, we saw our teepee and felt a huge wave of relief come over us, even though the smell was as pungent as ever. We peeked inside the teepee through the little door flap we had made, and what we saw was haunting. There was evidence of someone living there.
Bye.
The clothes looked like men's, and they were huge. We continued to investigate the site. Behind the teepee was 2 rotting deer carcasses with a wooden spear in one and a buck knife in the eye of the
Oh,
other.
God.
At this point, my friend was already running back to our bikes, but I stupidly stayed for a little longer to scope out the area.
That's the stupid stuff my friends would be doing.
Greeted by a deep, monstrous voice. Would you like to live with me forever?
Huh?
As I slowly turned around,
Excuse
I
me?
was confronted by a creepy old man. I couldn't even begin to describe his face. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen in my life.
Fucking
I
tweakers.
bolted back to my friend. Luckily, he's a slow runner, so it was easy to catch up to him.
Oh my God.
Biked back as fast as we could, not looking back.
Yeah, right thing to do. Don't play. Okay, I'll do 15 more minutes. I'll end the stream like 9:45. Was it Mad Max?
How long before we get there?
We've been in it for 11 days.
You know what I mean. The prison center? How long now?
We'll get there when we do.
What is this?
What am I doing here? What am I doing here?
You shot someone.
Oof.
No, I know I've been told that. But why?
Like I stated before, you've had your memory wiped for a reason. They don't want you to act on whatever motivated you to do that here.
Too sci-fi for
I
my
told
taste.
you I'd be next to get a sentence.
How is that fair? I'm nobody anymore. Roland does not exist. I'm not her. Even if I was before, I'm not now. And I wouldn't shoot someone. I'm not a killer. And
You have the capacity to be. We've seen that.
everybody does. If I really did do what you said I did,
Let's just do this one. This one's a little spicy. It's 15 minutes. We'll do 15 minutes of this. It's called 4 True OnlyFans Horror Stories. Animated. Interesting. Interesting.
Retail job. The quality of my life at this time was both extremely stressful and depressing.
True,
As
true.
I would literally live off eating crackers and cheap instant noodle packs.
It'd be
I
like
would even
that.
go as far as to sleep hungry sometimes. just to save every last dollar possible to help pay for my rent and school funds. I remember staying up late one night, as I had a biology exam coming up within a few days. I could recall being overwhelmed from the monotonous material I was drilling into my head when I heard a loud knock on my door. Sarah?
Ooh.
Sarah, can you answer the door? It's Charlie. Hello? I know you're in there. I heard you watching TV 5 minutes ago.
Yes? What do you want, Charlie?
I need to talk to you. Can you please answer the door?
Oh, that's so weird.
Hey, Sarah. You know your rent is due, right?
I'll get it to you by tomorrow. I've just been a little flustered with school.
Don't
and-
worry. You can give it to me tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Charlie. You're a
To
lifesaver.
make it easier on you, I do take other forms of payment, you know.
Oh.
I'm good. I'll just pay you tomorrow.
What's wrong, Sarah? I'm just trying to help a pretty
Oh,
little girl like you
no.
out. Don't you want my help? Don't worry. It'll only take 5 minutes tops. We'll act like nothing ever happened. Imagine not having to worry of paying a single bill again, Sarah, for just a measly 5 minutes of your time.
That's so
Did I ever
fucked.
tell you that you look just as beautiful as my daughter?
I said I'm good.
That is weird. That is.
Better pay me tomorrow, you little brat, or else you can get the hell out of my property.
That is so
I've
weird.
always had unsettling vibes from my landlord the day I moved in here, but unfortunately couldn't really do much.
That is
as the housing
terrifying.
market for students around the area were either occupied or way over my budget. As busy as I was with school, I was always a social butterfly at heart and had a pretty decent following on my social media. I unfortunately didn't make any money online, but I did have about a couple hundred fans in my DMs and comment section asking if I had an OnlyFans. I, of course, didn't own one, as I was always hesitant in
Hey,
encountering weirdos with
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
I really didn't want to run into the risk of being recognized by any school colleagues or relatives for that matter, considering the internet was a large place where anything could be shared or screen recorded nowadays.
True.
At the time that this occurred, I was extremely eager to make any form of income without having to deal with the hassle of working a regular job, which is why I ultimately decided to sign up for an OnlyFans account.
Just do it.
I decided to take a couple of provocative selfies of myself while wearing some outfits that I thought would be appealing to the rather large male audience I had accumulated through my years on social media.
It'd be like that.
I even went as far to take self-portraits of myself in bed, using a professional camera I had owned from a while ago.
Do what you gotta do. Make
I
your money.
remember uploading the catalog of images on my profile while promoting it on my Instagram story, just to see if there was going to be any first-time buyers willing to see the other side of me. I made sure to hide the stories from my close relatives.
Hey, you gotta make your
especially
money.
my mother, as I didn't want them knowing I wanted to explore the mature side of myself, and that I wasn't solely depending on making a living using OnlyFans. I can recall it not even being 5 minutes yet, when I noticed a notification on OnlyFans. I then refreshed my homepage, only to see that I got my first paid subscriber.
Oh
If I had to
no.
be honest, I was quite thrilled at the notion that anyone would be interested in me.
That's how it starts.
Should I say my looks? I remember the user then sending a message saying, "Hey beautiful, happy to be your first OnlyFans sub." I typed.
Thank you. Let me know if you'd like to see more.
Oh my
The
god.
user then playfully requested for several provocative pictures of myself wearing lingerie. I felt a little uncomfortable hearing such a request, but I knew in the back of my head that this was going to take some getting used to,
Yeah.
especially if I wanted to pursue a potential career on OnlyFans. Regardless of who this person was, I decided to take the requested pictures in front of a mirror.
You better had
using my
tip.
cell
You better
phone.
had to put that tip high.
I then uploaded the images onto my laptop and charged the man a lump sum of $50 per photo.
Good.
The man then responded, "I want to be your one and only customer forever." I obviously found this a bit alarming,
Yeah.
but casually brushed it off by telling the user I was going to go study and that I was going to catch him later. I then made my way to the kitchen to make some instant noodles, while resuming the dreadful exam preparation I had procrastinated on
School's
since
hard.
the beginning of the day. I remember studying for at least a good 2 hours straight before calling it a night. I then headed back to my bedroom, only to notice my laptop was still open, and wanted to see if there was any further activity with my OnlyFans account. That's when I saw at least 100 unread messages coming from the same user that I had interacted with earlier.
No bueno.
The messages varied from things like, "Where are you?" to, "Hello? I've been waiting for you for hours now." To
No.
really aggressive messages like, "Answer me, ho."
Bye.
This left me completely dumbfounded, as the user then seemed apologetic towards the end of the messages, as if he suffered from bipolar disorder.
Nah,
I
I'm
honestly
good.
contemplated on blocking this guy, but as I scrolled through the messages, I noticed one of them offering to pay me $100 if I sent a video of myself crying on camera.
What?
I couldn't tell if this guy was joking or if it was some sort of sick f*** of his.
That's
but
weird.
I decided to oblige as I really needed the money.
$100.
I began to screen record a video of myself using my webcam and began to force myself to cry by thinking of sad things like the death of my grandmother
You
or
better
the divorce
edit-
of my parents
you better
and how
edit
my
stuff.
dad left my mom hanging to be a deadbeat dad.
You better edit, crop your
I
face.
eventually stopped the filming and sent the video to the user for a price tag of $100. About 5 seconds later, the user immediately sends another odd request, as if he disregarded my last video and was craving for more. The message read, "Can you stick your finger down your throat and vomit in a bucket? I'll pay you another $100.
Dude, what
What
the?
the hell?
Yeah, same.
Freaking weirdo.
This seemed extremely off-putting, but I felt as if I was obliged to do
That
so,
is so
considering
weird.
I was an extremely broke student
That is
and
weird.
needed any kind of funds I could get my hands on. I decided to grab a large bowl from my kitchen cabinet while contemplating my conscious decision
Yeah,
to do such
this
a
is
thing.
a big thing to do.
As
I wouldn't.
sat
I don't
in
know
front
how
of
I
my
feel.
laptop, I held the bowl with one hand and stuck my index finger down my throat with the other,
No,
while
I'm gonna.
simultaneously trying to regurgitate the instant
I don't want to
noodles
watch
I'd just
this.
eaten.
That's gross.
I then sent the user the video with a price tag of $100. Again, the user instantly replies in a matter of seconds with another odd request. His message read, "Cut a handful of your hair off using a knife, and I'll pay you $200.
What the fuck?
I felt pretty hesitant at first, but as I digested the odd request,
Did he buy the
I
other
thought it would be
videos?
an easy $200, considering how I always wanted to get a haircut anyway. I responded with a stern, sure, BRB, as I went into the kitchen to grab a knife from one
This
of
is
the kitchen
weird.
drawers.
This is like.
As I stared into the reflection of the blade, I began second-guessing myself, as the thought of sadistically tearing my hair off with a blade seemed very inhumane. I unfortunately allowed my stupidity to completely overcloud my judgment.
Oh
as I
my
ended
lord,
up biting on a
no!
piece of cloth while raising my hair with one hand, and then slowly cutting it off with the knife on my other hand. I remember trying my best not to make too much noise from my repugnant decisions, as the sheer distress from the back and forth carving of my hair left my scalp throbbing in an excruciating manner. I then shouted,
There's your stupid video, you sick freak. You happy now? Huh? Huh?
as I gestured a hand of my detached hair. That's when the user immediately responds with another sadistic request,
Dude.
saying, "Now, cut your finger off for another $200.
Oh god, what the hell?
I immediately dismissed the user using profanities and vulgar language, basically telling him to go F himself, as I simultaneously block his account.
That was weird.
I then went into the washroom and began to sit in the bathtub to reflect on my bizarre
That's so
decisions,
weird.
what possessed me to do
That's
such
not
a
gonna
thing.
leave a weird taste in my
I could
mouth.
then hear my phone vibrating on the bathroom sink several times from the notifications set on my phone. As I got out of the shower, I checked my phone, only to see the notifications were from a user with the same profile name on Instagram. I could tell that the user was obviously a stalker, as he had no followers, but was following at least a couple hundred others.
Yikes.
I then opened the user's messages, only to see screenshots and video footage of what transpired within our OnlyFans interaction. As I scrolled up, I noticed a lengthy message from the user asking me to bring a knife to an undisclosed location if I didn't want him to send this to anyone else, almost like I was getting taunted and blackmailed at the same time.
That's horrible.
I ended up accepting the user's messages and replying with a firm,
I'm gonna sue you if you don't delete those images and videos.
He then responds with an image of my mother's Instagram and says, Is this your mom's Instagram?
Oh my
I
god.
then reply with,
What the Don't
Don't
do it.
go. Oh, this
"Go
is
to the
horrible.
park now."
This is so scary.
Okay, fine, you win. I'm leaving right now, you freak.
That's when I tucked the knife underneath the band of my
Oh
leggings
my
and began to
God.
walk towards the park. I then text the user for further
This
instructions
is so
as I
scary.
surveyed my surroundings of the park, only to see a homeless-looking individual laying on a bench. That's when I get another text from the user saying, "Since you didn't want to cut your finger off, cut his, and I'll leave you alone."
No.
I then
No.
pulled out the knife and began to approach the homeless man.
This
As I
is
could
so.
see, he was completely passed
don't
out
like where
and
this is
drunk from the
going.
empty alcohol bottle laying next to the bench he was
This is
sleeping on.
this is
As I
weird.
cautiously approached the man, I began to elevate his pinky in midair with one hand, while raising the knife with my other hand.
I don't know if I can watch this.
I then swung the knife in one quick motion.
No.
That's when I ran back towards the main road as the man screamed in agony. I eventually
I don't know
made
how
it
to
back
feel.
to my place and began panting in distress and exhaustion without making it obvious to the other individuals in the household that I had initially stepped out. As I pull out my phone, I can see that the call was surprising.
What?
What the hell is wrong with you, Sarah? Why would you do that?
Oh my god.
Have you freaking lost your damn mind?
Oh my god.
You're all over the damn internet.
Oh my god. Yo, this is. Hey, that's enough, man. That is enough. That is enough. I that last story. Oh man. I don't know how I feel about that one, guys. I feel kind of disturbed. I'm not gonna lie. That left a weird, unsettling, taste in my mouth. This. Wow. That is horrifying. That is. Wow. Hey, anyone in that business, hey, be careful, man. These people are weird. Oh. You can really put yourself in precarious situations like this. I just ask everyone who indulges in anything like that, be careful. Please. That is a terrifying, like the whole ending just, it leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. That is just, wow. That is sick and demented. Oh god. That being said, guys, thank you for joining me for the short stream of the day 2 of our spooky season, 31 days of Halloween. I might stream tomorrow. I'm gonna play some games tomorrow. We'll see. I haven't really set anything up for tomorrow yet, but we're gonna be streaming. I got to. But we gotta play something. That being said, damn. How do you guys feel about this? I don't even know how I feel about this. I'm kind of freaked out. Just, oh god. I'm gonna end the video here. I want to take a nice minute to recharge. But thank you guys for coming out. For those who did and who kept coming in and out, I really appreciate everybody who does come to these streams and hangs out with me. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day from your sadistic spirit guide, Yokai Papi Wilson. Peace out, peace and love, guys, and happy Halloween.